what's up, Long Players? Welcome back to the Long Play Listening Party, the show where we go deep on local music, writing, recording, inspiration, gear, and whatever else sounds good to us. I still remember my whole intro after at least a 2-month break.
That's
almost
impressive,
a 3-month
bud.
break. Like riding a bike, I suppose.
It's muscle memory.
I am Howie Howard from Mr. Curious Records, joined as always by my co-host, Nate Holt, Astrology's Music. What's going on, Nate?
Hello.
And we are testing out some new equipment, whole new recording process and rig tonight. So that's exciting. And we're going to share a little bit of music. These will probably be short episodes, but who knows? And just going to hang out, kind of get a new groove going. And then we'll be in 2 weeks. We'll have a guest, Till Willis, favorite friend of the show.
Got a guest.
Returning guest. Till has a new album. It's already out. The Grinding of the Stars. We can double check that album title. Yes. Till Willis and Erratic Cowboy. Grinding of the Stars. We will be listening to that album with Till in 2 weeks. But for now, it's me and Nate. What's going on, Nate?
Oh, nothing. Just getting this camera does not have the, I don't know what the correct word is for it, but luminosity or whatever. It's a darker camera.
Yeah. And I'm a little overexposed and whatever. Maybe I'll need to find something I did do some work in here. The console is virtual, obviously. That is, I'm in my laundry.
Shut up. You don't have, shut up.
No.
That's
not real.
That's
sorry.
real. Oh, okay.
Sorry to disappoint. That it doesn't look too far off from Royce's studio, but
not too far. No, he doesn't have that console. He's got
not too terrible far.
At least since I was there, he's got the Pro Tools flying fader set up.
Yeah, that's what I remember as well. So, man, how have you been? Do you want to go over some of your musical adventure? I mean, you've been playing lots of shows, you've been recording. We'll be getting more into that in the next coming weeks. I put out several albums on Mr. Furious.
Yeah, you've been busy with that as well.
Busy with releases, not so busy with writing and recording, but that has started to change just in the last week. I've kind of got through the release schedule with some great stuff, but I'm enjoying being back into music making mode, where January was a lot of promotion, which is not my home base, but I do it.
No, it's a necessary part of it, but
yeah.
I'm sure some people find it fun, and in some ways it is, but eventually I think, you find yourself going like, why? Like, I don't need to spend this much time. Like, I'm trying to give myself like 15 minutes,
Yeah.
So if I have something to put out or something, I'll maybe put some stuff together, and then give myself 15 minutes to get it all posted, on whatever it is on our account, other bands' accounts or whatever, and try to just make that it. I mean, I do like engaging with people, though. It seems like I am doing a little bit more of that as I, as we post more stuff and you're a little bit busier and stuff like that. But
the connections are always great when you can talk to somebody about it. And there are some aspects I like making a cover image. Even I'm not super great at it, but that's kind of fun. I like that. But yeah, it doesn't. None of it, even the parts I enjoy somewhat, it's not like. It doesn't scratch the same itch as making music. That's what I'm really in.
Right. Yeah, I think I enjoy putting together like the short little. They make it really easy to put stuff that looks kind of cool. I don't get like way into remix this reel or any of that, but for quick little things that are meant for an attention span that's like
Right.
you're on social media, 5 or 10 seconds at most on
Right.
something. So if you can catch somebody's attention for at least a few seconds and they know what you're up to, that's all you can really hope for.
Clips and clips.
Clips and clips and content and content and clips and content.
Always with the content. Well, let's test out this music situation here. Yeah. Tell us, we're gonna share a track you've worked on. Well, tell us a little bit about Dreams in Color and about the whole project.
Okay, so this was released actually on Futurespective, which is the record I released last March. And, so I had 12 tracks, because I did a track a month. And then, I was like, well, I would like to have some new stuff, some stuff that hasn't been heard yet. So this is one of the new ones that I hadn't had done anything with yet, and I got a hold of Kirsten, who I think I'd wanted to do something with her for a while because we had talked about it and she had listened to some of my music and really liked it. So this is what we ended up coming up with. And so it came out on Futurespective, and then when we started discussing the EP that we were kind of had a goal to put out, we were thinking first of this year, but it'll be a little longer than that, obviously, but I think it'll be good. But we'd like why not put it on that EP, because it is kind of the seeds or whatever of Semper Viridis. One of the first things we kind of worked on together. So
will the EP version have like a new mix or a full remix or anything, or it's like
so it won't be a remix, but our friend Brent Claybaugh, who lives in Lincoln, has mastered all of the tracks to tape. So I just basically, I might have cleaned up some stuff on the mixes, or not that it would have made a difference to a lot of people, but then I sent my mixes to him, and he mastered, and he's basically he mastered it to tape, and he's I think a hardware piece away. I don't know what that is from having a complete hardware mastering chain to tape, but man, he was really excited to work on it, and he did like a handful of mixes for each song, which was more than cool, more than generous for but he's another guy. I don't know if you've met him or know him, but I think you guys would really get along because I mean he's a gearhead. I mean he's I might have shown you a pic or a little clip of his recording space, but it's basically like his whole downstairs. He's a single dad, has 2 kids, 2 boys, and but his like 90% of his downstairs is like instruments, and then like one room is just like you walk in and it's just like it's a couple active working tape machines, and I don't remember the name of the console, but it's a super nice console and just really cool vibey hardware.
Cool. We should put him on the idea list for guests.
And you know what? Yeah, I completely spaced it and blanked it, but I was meant to text him and to see if he had any time to hop on tonight, because I wasn't sure how many guests we were gonna have or anything. He still might be down. I can see if he maybe next week. We can get him on next week.
Maybe. Well, that's real nice. Is the rest of the EP kind of similar energy wise, or does it go like a lot of different directions?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's it's an electronic, most I guess you could call it dance, but it's more it's not straight techno, 4 on the floor stuff. It's
right.
that kind of electronica music that I tend to make, and then when Kirsten and I start actually writing together, it might be a little different, but there's a song on there called Into the Sun, which is right now it's just out on Bandcamp. I released it. There's 3 songs that I released for the summer like a monthly song challenge, and they all ended up being Semper Viridis tracks. So some of them are out there, but it'll be remastered. I think Brent did some slight tweaks when he did that too. So
sure. I've heard that track a bunch of times, and only this time did I make the connection. It kind of reminds me of this old band, not old, but a band called Astronaut Wife. Who? Oh, have you heard of them?
No.
Their main. So I knew them. I lived in Minneapolis for a year, and they're a Minneapolis band. The album's called Flying Saucer, the main album. And it's on. I'm looking at it on Spotify right now. It looks like it's on Amazon and Apple, and so you should be able to find it around. I don't know if it's on Bandcamp or not. But yeah, Astronaut Wife, album's called Flying Saucer. Really, really cool, super catchy, electro pop, kind of like that, super polished, but great melodies, and like lots of super creative details, and all the little things going on in the mix are just perfect.
Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing them now. What's that band? Have you heard of them? I'm gonna mess their name up. Polika.
Yeah. And it might even, they're from Minneapolis too, and there might even be members in common or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think it's Polisa or
yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but it's kind of a super group.
Yeah, I kind of saw. I think it was at the Bottleneck. But I remember being like, "Holy crap, that'd be ideal." But I mean, they're they've got, I'm all my stuff is electronic. I sometimes use like breaks and stuff, but that's got live instrumentation and all that stuff in it.
Yeah.
Sort of.
For a while, they had 2 drummers, which was cool.
Yeah.
And I have like 3 or 4 of their records, but I have not kept up lately, I gotta say. And I think they're still active.
Yeah, 2003.
The first
was
one?
the Flying Saucer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds right. Because
Yeah.
Astronaut Wife was, so I was in Minneapolis summer 04 to summer 05. And I think Astronaut Wife had just broken up like around the time I got there, but like the CD was still everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great though. I mean, I'll look forward to checking them out because I love that, stuff in that vein.
All right. Well, we can talk about whatever. I'm gonna try and keep us moving with.
We're gonna go to anything you've been working on?
Indeed, we are.
Good.
We're gonna go to a night mode track called "Emerge from the Infinite." Drew and I put out a night mode album a few weeks ago called "Exoplanetary Shadows."
Yeah.
Nightmode.bandcamp.com and all the big streaming services. This one is quite ambient, quite noisy in some different ways. It's our first email collaboration. So always before, when we've done collaborative night mode, we have been in the studio together, recording together live.
Yeah.
And this is the first one where we sent files back and forth, and it started with Drew. He did 3 long jams of various synthesizers. I think a lot of his Prophet and a lot of Mini Brute through this device called a landscape stereo field. And don't quote me too much on the details of this device, but basically it has a couple of inputs and a couple of outputs, and then this control surface, this custom control surface that you touch and make connections between and feedback paths and different things through your body as you touch the different pads and different combinations. And it's very unpredictable and chaotic.
That's wild.
Yeah. So that's how these tracks started. He did 3 big jams, sent them to me to overdub. And I challenged myself to create patches on the MS-20 where I would do one pass through the whole song, no editing, and I planned my patch. I wanted the patch to change, so I would like plan. Okay, at this time, this cable has to go here, and
so you had like cues and stuff, kind of like a performance.
Totally, I totally mapped it out.
Yeah.
Kind of what I'm gonna play. It's partially improvised. I didn't like compose the notes, but I knew, of course, what scale I'd be in, what the patch would be, and whether I'd be playing like a legato thing or like weird things or whatever the kind of concept would be. So I did that, sent it back to Drew. I think he added a few more parts and did all of his mixing magic, and that's the record. That's what you hear. And I think it's really good. It's really, I'm really proud of it because it's not something I've heard before. Obviously, we're using a lot of gear and ideas that people have explored plenty, and it's fun to continue exploring, but the sum of it is kind of different, I think.
I think, composing or creating music, however you would want to say that, on, synthesizers, especially, maybe semi-modular synths or stuff, is really a fun way to do it because a lot of the stuff isn't in your control other than, the timbre or the way that the sound's coming out. Of course, you have some parameters you can kind of set, like the key and everything, but like some of the unpredictability and maybe some of the generative stuff that you can do. I think it's a lot of fun to make ambient music that way, and a lot of the stuff that I've done that has been, some of my favorite stuff, that, at least to me, was VCV Rack, and it wasn't like I was, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do this next to. It's just kind of like, trying to figure out the different modules and what they would do, and it just kept turning corners and going in different directions, and it was super fun.
Yeah. Two things. I'm going to jump back before I forget. So it's funny that you mentioned generative stuff, because in a different song, and I can't remember which of the other two it is, but there's actually a really clear moment in the middle of the song where I switch to a fully generative MS-20 patch. Like, I've been playing, and I don't remember what the patch was or anything, but at one point, I put a cable somewhere, and all of a sudden it just starts playing itself, and I take my hands off the keyboard, and it's doing this other thing on its own.
Yeah.
Which is super fun. And then VCV Rack. I love VCV Rack. I'm working on a drone album in VCV Rack, and I think I approach it quite a bit differently than I approach, analog modular or semi-modular, and what I find amazing about VCV Rack, which, listeners, if you don't know, you can Google it, or I'll link to it, and it's a digital environment where you can do modular synthesis, and there's a billion modules available for free. There are some paid ones. You can do a ton for free. There's
enough free modules that, some of the paid ones are really cool, but there's enough free modules you don't have to worry. They're like any module that you can think of, unless they're like specially modules, is available for free.
There's something there, yeah. And I found it was really helpful in helping me get a modular system started with Dad, and I was just fooling around at the time, and to learn VCV Rack, I was just like, oh, well, just to give myself something to do, I will try and recreate a synthy inside VCV Rack with the matrix mixer and the same kind of thing. And that was actually like the whole start of making the matrix mixer, was just like, oh yeah, like this is really, playing a matrix mixer is really fun, and a different way of approaching all this. It feels different, and like different music comes out.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then the album I'm working on, it would cost $10,000 to assemble these modules in real life, which is another thing VCV Rack is great for, because you can just add and add and add, and there's no limitation.
Yeah, and you can buy, templates too.
Sure.
That are just, you kind of just, wow, I can't. It takes you a while to get your head around them, but it's a very, very cool tool to use, and learn modular, and try it all out before you go bankrupt with real hardware.
Definitely. Definitely. So we've talked about some gear, and I want to do some more gear talk, but maybe I don't want to load that all up now. So maybe, Nate, how do you feel about switching the plan a little bit and talking about any listening good finds you've had in the past couple months since we talked last? And I have some lined up if you need a minute to think.
No, but I wanted to ask first, like, this particular moment in this track, what's going on here?
I could not tell you.
Okay.
Other than Drew's playing some things through the stereo fields.
Yeah.
And I'm doing something on the MS-20.
Is it? Would you say the is that kind of lower, sort of fuzzy, buzzy, drone note?
I don't think so. I think the MS-20 is the whistly whoa, whoa.
Okay.
That's coming in and out.
Weird.
And I think I'm kind of in the middle, upper middle there, and I think Drew has the bass, and then all the staticky noise up top. I could be wrong about that though.
Yeah. So you were asking about new music, and I'm shit, really, when it comes to keeping up for real on that. I know there's been some local releases, and Mark Manning's show is a great resource for that. Like his playlists every week, and he's really good at just playing either new stuff that we hear about on a show, or programming it, so it's just really entertaining. But I'll go with sort of maybe just things that I've been attracted to. It looks like I listened to the Chick Corea record, Light as a Feather. That's just because I mean his playing in general is great, but the sound he gets on the roads and a couple of those songs on the record are amazing. I was listening to Cool the Gang, Light of Worlds, because Corey Phillips' band wants to do Summer Madness at some point, which for Sense, it's a really super fun song. I've got that glide lead and the strings and stuff already programmed, and the roads and all that. My friend Billy put out a record just a little bit ago, called Existing Just for Fun. His band's called the Dusted Furs. Are from Boulder, but he's it's really cool music, man. He's got a keyboard player that does some really cool synth stuff. He's a really great guitar player. And there, it's just good rock and sort of jam bandy music. That's been good. I went back and listened to some Ghost Mind a little bit. Played with the band where I saw them, and then asked them, and they did a show with Hello Biplane and Lawrence. It's Kirsty Lynn and Galen Clark, and they have a record out called Cinder Garden A-Sides. I think they're just released or about to release B-sides. They're an acoustic duo. Super talented. Galen, I think they went to the same college together, but he's audio engineer. He plays guitar and mandolin, and Kirsty plays guitar and has a just amazing voice. And when we played with them at Caw Valley before they closed, unfortunately, they were working on that one mic technique where they just stood around the one mic and got their dynamics, and they're super fun. And I think they're I think I actually emailed you about doing this when we were doing scheduling. And
they're on the potential guest list for sure.
So I mean there's more, but I mean I don't know, I'd consider, hey, what are you listening to? What have you been listening to? I mean, it doesn't have to be new. It can be,
oh, for sure.
So
always.
What about you, my friend?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do Ryuichi Sakamoto's new album 12. has really grabbed me. He's a well-known ambient and soundtrack musician, but this new one is, I think, a career highlight already. So yeah, Ryuichi Sakamoto 12. A really cool kind of dubby electro, lower energy electro album by a guy who goes by Strategy. It's called Graffiti in Space.
Okay.
And just really great. If you liked, I think you would like it a lot, Nate. It's like a spaced out orbital debris.
I like spaced out shit.
Yeah. So that one's very cool. For the beat type folks out there and the sampler folks, I stumbled on this guy, I think on Tumblr, Steelin' Drums, all caps STLNDRMS. He's got a ton of stuff out, but my favorite is the Veggie Tacos series, parts 1 through 3. Just some really great, 404 style beats. I think they're actually 404 beats. I could be wrong about that, but there's that style of, kind of Dilla influenced beat making. And then I was about to say that Stick Figure has a new one coming out.
He does.
I don't know how I missed it. It's out. It came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I have not listened to it. I missed that somehow. But Stick Figure, Pookie Stick Figure finds himself.
I admittedly embarrassed. I have not checked that out. I think I listened to a track, but I have not sat down to give it a.
Well, I'm going to buy it tonight and listen to it tomorrow.
Good on you.
I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
I would not
Stick.
think anything else. Yeah.
And that's good. That's good for Rex. And good show. I think this is working.
I guess I would say keep an eye on Deterra Records, because I know they were kind of do a lot of stuff behind the scenes last year, and there was some other stuff outside of that, but it sounds like Milk Drop's getting ready to release a record, which I'm sure it's going to be worth the wait, but I just wanted to mention that as well.
Was that a little Lincoln Marshall shout out, worth the wait? Or am I reading too much into it?
I would be surprised if that's not in the back of their minds, or in their they're not telling anybody shit about it until it happens. But I could see that. I could see that this year. I think they're both ready to fucking explode with stuff that's gonna make everybody realize that they were missing.
Outstanding. Well, there can't be better news than that. So let's leave it here. We will be back next week, listeners. Until then, be cool.
Be cool.
Play listening party.
Don't go to school. Don't
stay in school. Be cool.
Stay in school. That's what I meant to say.
Watch Chuck D's documentary "Fight the Power" on PBS, or streaming for free on pbs.org.